And welcome to the April 9th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. A meeting was held at 6 p.m. in the council chambers of City Hall for clarification of the agenda. The following is an official agenda of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Discussion and commission action will be limited to those items on the agenda. Any citizen who wishes to address the commission shall first be recognized by the chair and shall give his or her name for the record. If a citizen wishes to read documentation of any sort to the commission, he or she shall first seek permission from the chair. There's a 3-minute time limitation for public testimony to the commission. Aislinn, will you please call the roll?
Eugene Bartu,
Here.
Benjamin Gomez,
Here.
Adam Geyer,
Here.
Martina Hewlett,
Present.
Richard Phillips,
Here.
Desiree Valadolid,
Here.
and Annie Mendoza is unexcused this evening.
I've been instructed to ask if anyone has any conflict of interest or ex parte contact to report. With none, I would ask everyone to please silent their cell phones. And we'll continue to agenda item number 2, which is approval of minutes. The commission may wish to approve the minutes from the clarification and regular meetings held March 3rd, 2020, or sorry, March 12th, 2025. Is there any discussion by the commission on those meeting minutes?
No.
With no further discussion, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes for March 12th, 2025 as presented.
I second that motion.
I have a motion by Hewlett and a second by Gomez. Aislinn, will you call the vote?
Hewlett,
Yes.
Gomez,
Yes.
Bartu,
Yes.
Geyer,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Valadolid.
Yes.
Sorry. Great. We'll move on to agenda item number 3, which is a public hearing for an annexation. The time has been set aside for the commission to hear comments from the public regarding an annexation project request to be known as the Ridge at High Terrace, submitted by Bill B. Isley and will be presented by Sunrise Engineering. The subject property entails 81.78 acres, more or less, with the proposed zoning designation of residential low density and a proposed future land use designation of residential. I will now explain the public hearing procedure. The application presentation is limited to 10 minutes. There's a 3-minute limit on public testimony. Those presenting or testifying will state your name for the record. While giving testimony, questions and comments should be pertinent to the application and should be addressed only to the commission. During the public hearing, there should be no questions, comments, or applause from the audience. Should the meeting go longer than 8 p.m., the commission may take a scheduled 10-minute break. I declare the public hearing open and would like to invite the applicant to come to the podium.
My name is Bill Isley. Would it be all right if I stood right here so I could point here?
Can you not see those?
Well, they won't be able to see on that one.
one.
In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Pocatello was growing very rapidly. Alameda was annexed in 1962. Pocatello was the largest city in Idaho. The East Bench area was developing along 2 routes. One was the East Center route, which was coming up through here, over here, and up through this way, and the other was the Monte Vista route, which was coming here and coming this way. Pocatello had taken over the Alameda water supply system and the Alameda water tank in 1962. Alameda water tank is right there. And they had also built a new 2 million gallon tank that is right there on the upper part of Center Street. Sagewood Hills subdivisions were coming online throughout the mid-70s, as were subdivisions in the Monte Vista Road area. All the pieces were in place for the city to accommodate and steer major development in the Sagewood Hills to Monte Vista corridor. An important parcel of land connecting the 2 acres was recently acquired by Wendell Marshall and Louis Racine. Recently was December 4th of 1972. And the plan was to take the road all the way through right there. It was actually designed by the city. It was called the Monte Vista Road East Bench City Improvement Plan. And it was to have the road and the water line and the sewer line. And that would continue the development of housing there on this side and connect them together. There were sophisticated developers at both ends of the development, Satterfields and Booths. Andersons were over here, and several big developers were over here. That was 50 years ago. It never got done, none of it. By none of it, one thing got finished, and that was the city put the water line in from here all the way to here, which allowed the upper Monte Vista area to develop. They broke it off here and went down to here and into the Alameda tank so that they got to use that 500,000 gallon tank to feed, and they had the water system to where it would handle the entire mountain. But the land that was bought here, they weren't really developers, and they thought they would flip it, I guess. Anyway, it just sat. And it sat for 50 years. I bought a little piece of it right here and put that little part of the road in. I had an option to buy the rest, and so we ended up getting all of this together and then all of this together. And now we're ready to connect from here to here, which makes a lot of improvements for the city. What we've had in the past are two very long cul-de-sacs, Center Street and Vista. And they just kept getting longer and longer and longer. You're not supposed to, well, you can. They say that if you're not gonna ever build a road further, you can only have 30 houses. But if it's gonna continue, you can keep going. But keep going how long? I mean, they're both really long. I don't believe there's a single department in the city that is not 100% in favor of doing this connection, from the fire and the police and the emergencies to the garbage trucks that don't have to go up and make 3-point turns and come back down. It will provide great amount of connectivity. And then when it is finished, and we go down through here, and we don't own that property, but we are working on it. And one way or the other, we can put the water and sewer on because there's a 30-foot easement, but one way or the other, that piece will also develop. When it does, we'll have 4 roads into the whole area that you can get in and out of from any direction. And you will have about 450 new residences. And all of this is right in the middle of the city. And it helps the city of Pocatello greatly in their tax base, but it also provides the 2 major exchanges in Pocatello. There's 4, and 2 of the major ones have always been Center Street and Pocatello Creek. You'll now be able to go between them without getting out on the freeway. You live in Monte Vista, you work at the hospital, you have to get on the freeway twice a day, coming and going. You'll just go up and over and down and be where you need to go. So I personally have taken this kind of as a challenge for the last, I don't know, 8 years or 10 years. And I'm very invested in getting this accomplished. And I think it'll be in the very best interest of the city. And on the annexation, this portion here, and then it kind of goes jogging in and around like that. But that's the part that's going to be, that we're asking is annexed into the city. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Now invite city staff to come up.
Evening, Mr. Chair and Commission members. I'm Becky Babb. I'm the planning manager with the city. I'd like to point out that the staff report does contain a clerical error in the header, identifying the request as a preliminary plat rather than an annexation. As noted before you as a request for annexation, the site is unaddressed, undeveloped, and is currently adjacent to the incorporated city boundary. It consists of 3 parcels totaling 81.78 acres, more or less. The application has requested a zoning map designation of residential low density. The project is generally located to the northwest of East Center Street. Staff finds the application to be in compliance with Idaho Code Section 50-222, Section 5A, wherein the landowners of the subject property have requested annexation or where consent has been given by the landowners of a contiguous parcel to the city limits. Staff additionally finds that the application to be in compliance with City Code Section 17.02.110 and supports the zoning designation of residential low density. All property owners within a 300-foot radius of the existing property boundaries have been provided notice of the public hearing in order that they can provide comment on the application, and notice was published in the Idaho State Journal on March 24th, 2025. 2 signs have been posted on the subject property on March 24th, 2025. Staff has received several phone calls regarding the application, but none have expressed explicit support or opposition to the application. And that concludes my presentation.
Hey, do we have any questions for city staff?
No.
Okay, thanks, Becky. Before starting public testimony, I would like to remind each person, when you come to the podium, you must state your name. Please remember to only address the commission, not the audience or the applicant. You have 3 minutes to testify and will be asked to stop when time runs out. Keep questions and comments pertinent to the application. Do not duplicate questions, concerns, or comments covered by previous testimony heard today. With that, I would like to invite anyone providing testimony in support of the application to come forward. Is there anyone providing testimony uncommitted to the application? Is there anyone inviting, or I'd like to invite anyone providing testimony opposing the application? Okay. Bill, any rebuttal there?
No, thanks.
With no further testimony or rebuttal, I declare the public hearing closed. How does the commission wish to proceed? We could entertain discussion or a motion.
I move to recommend approval of the annexation and zoning application from Bill Isley to annex and zone the property located northwest of Center Street, finding the application meets the standards for approval under Section 17.02.110 of Pocatello City Code, and to authorize the chair to sign the findings of fact.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion made by Hewlett and a second by Guyer. Aislinn, will you call the vote, please?
Hewlett,
Yes.
Dyer,
Yes.
Bartu,
Yes.
Gomez,
Yes.
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 Great. We will now move on to agenda item number 4. This time has been set aside for the commission to hear comments from the public regarding a preliminary plat subdivision to be known as The Ridge at High Terrace, Division 1 through 3. Request submitted by Bill B. Isley and represented by Sunrise Engineering. The subject property entails 81.78 acres, more or less. The request is to subdivide the property into 75 total lots. With that, we will invite the applicant to come forward.
You want to make this motion?
Oh, excuse me, sorry. I declare the public hearing open, and we invite the applicant to come forward. Sorry.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Rob Hoosfeld with Sunrise Engineering, here tonight representing Bill Isley. I did want to point out a few things. First and foremost, we appreciate your guys' time and the effort that you put in on behalf of the city. Staff report is pretty inclusive, has most of the details, so mainly I want to answer questions, but I did want to point out just a few things. First and foremost, I wanted to leave this up there as being the master plan, and the reason why I did this is because the 2 complaints that we've received previously on the other adjacent parcels, is no connectivity on roadways, and the lots are way too small. We want bigger lots. So I wanted you to take a look at the lot sizes that you can see on the adjacent properties and compare those to the ones that are in orange, which is this phase, or this property. We did request residential large, and we are exceeding the minimum lot size requirement, trying to adhere to those requests. We also put the roadway connectivity through there. No longer will we have the long cul-de-sacs. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you as part of the presentation. So this is a preliminary phasing plan or division plan, if you will. Originally, we were going to make this large division 1. We're actually looking at breaking that up because of the absorption rate that we're thinking is going to be coming here to Pocatello. So we want to split that up into 2 separate divisions. So there'll likely be 4 divisions total, but I just wanted to mention that up front. So division 1 will likely get divided into 2. Other than that, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
With Division 1 being broken up into 2, does that mean the road will also not be connected initially?
Correct.
Do we know where that disconnection will happen?
I do not know, actually. We haven't divided that up as of right now, but I'm guessing it'll be pretty close to the middle.
Right there.
Okay. So right in here, if you can see my cursor.
But the road will be graded all the way through, so it'll be available for emergency services for 1 extra year.
Based on the ideal absorption rate, how long do you think it will be until phase 2 will take part?
Good question.
1 year.
1 year.
It'll be next summer.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions?
I'd like to hear more about this little trail that you've got running along that outside edge.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the master plan.
Well, I can see it drawn in on that, but yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of open space that goes with this application. We want folks to be able to enjoy that and take advantage of the open space. So we do have a trail system planned. It may not follow this exactly, but we do plan on interconnecting the trail system in there so they can enjoy that.
Will this eventually connect to the Pocatello City and Chubbuck City trail system? Or is this kind of
That's probably a good
geographically
question
locked to your development?
there. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I have personally built all of this, and up to here and over to here. And by personally, I mean personally. And it's really fun work, and I had a very experienced fellow that builds trails and mountains do the initial trail, and it's amazing to watch them how they do it. They dig a trench on the downhill side, so wide and so deep. They bring rocks down and put them there. Then they start digging on the uphill side and bringing any rocks into here and the ground across, and now it's level. And they put steps in and go. And then my job is I get to come by and haul and carry and dump about 2,000 bags of mulch. But then I got smart and we bought a chipper that was just wide enough to be pushed up and down the trail, and a nice heavy duty one. So we got to trim the trees this year and chip them up and use that as the mulch. And so we've thinned out all the trees up in this area here and all the way around on that trail and this trail. And it makes for a really nice look, and it also helps from a fire standpoint.
They're junipers, aren't they?
We need to maintain it long-term, so I created an association called the High Terrace Master Association, and it is only the members, or the board of directors are only the presidents of every association in the area.
Okay.
And all it does is maintain the trail, extend the trail, and work on mitigating fire dangers in the trees. And then it gets $5 a lot from everybody, that comes in there. So that way we can guarantee that it'll be maintained, mitigated, and made really nice. And the coup de grace, actually coup de grace is wrong. The crowning jewel will be when this part gets built.
Yeah.
That's the old Alameda dump that will be all grass, walking trail, and ponds, because we can put all of this water and all of this water, stormwater, right there.
Okay.
And so that's how we want to do it. Now, you'll notice here, I'm getting older, and there are
Trailheads.
put
Yeah.
areas that we left available when we developed all of that land down below. And so all of Hidden Valley Residential, and I live right there, but all of Hidden Valley Residential utilizes the trail, and they have access points at 3 places. So we were thinking this a long, long time ago. But it'll end up going through and connecting up all of these developments, and that'll come into it. And I think it'll be really good.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions for the
Thank you for
applicant?
No.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I like.
We'll now hear from city staff regarding the application.
Good evening again, Mr. Chair, Commission members, Becky Babb, Planning Manager at the city. As noted before you, this is a request for a preliminary plat approval of a subdivision that'll be known as the Ridges at High Terrace, Divisions 1 through 3, potentially 4. The application as submitted includes 3 divisions. Division 1 is 63.3 acres with 40 total residential lots and a common lot. 2 is 8.2 acres with 17 residential lots and a common lot, and 3 is 10.6 with 15 residential lots and a common lot. The property is subject to the previously heard annexation request and is proposed to be zoned residential low density. The minimum lot size for residential low density is 7,500 square feet, and all of the lots submitted meet that criteria. Division 1 is located in a designated wildlife habitat protection area, and so it will therefore be subject to Code Section 17.04.170, which is our wildlife habitat protection standards. This restricts development by 50%, and the proposed subdivision meets that density requirement as well. A portion of Division 1 has slopes in excess of 15% grade. Therefore, those developments will be subject to Code Section 17.05.100, which is our slope development standards, and that will be managed at the time of a building permit application. All property owners within a 300-foot radius of the existing property boundaries have been provided notice of the public hearing in order that they can provide comment on the application, and notice was published in the Idaho State Journal on March 25th. 2 signs were posted on the subject property also on March 25th, 2025. Staff has received several phone calls regarding this application, but none have expressed explicit support or opposition to this application. As a very specific note, should a motion to approve be made, it must be made subject to the result of the annexation decision.
Correct.
By the Pocatello City Council, in addition to any other conditions that the commission may require. But that would have to be included in your motion, that it's subject to the annexation and zoning determination by the Pocatello City Council. I will have Merrill Quayle answer all of the questions regarding the public works related portions of this application.
Becky?
Yes.
Can you give us that wording one more time? Subject to the annexation.
To the annexation and zoning decision by the
Decision
Pocatello
by the
City Council.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Merrill Quayle from the Pocatello Engineering Department. Almost forgot where I was working. Haven't been here very long. So just to add on to what we're saying with the subdivision and some of the calls that was fielded by myself too, where you guys, it indicated may not have gone up onto the hill and that. If you would have seen a lot of yellow iron up there and work that has started to progress already in that. And that's because so that you take advantage of our short construction seasons and stuff there. The permit for grading had been done through Bannock County. And this has been approved and moved forward through their jurisdiction at the time. We have been involved with that. So as people come through. One of the questions was, well, if it's in the county, what are we going to do about the dust? And what's going to happen with the erosion control and that. The answer to that is that we are working with the developer and contractor also to make sure that we're mitigating all of those as if it was in the city of Pocatello. There is a water tower they're getting ready to place and been working with our water department to get that put up. So the dust and those measures are already in place, and been coordinating that with the county. Also, that if there's any issues there, we'd go through the proper channels until it's annexed in, and then the full jurisdiction would be with the city of Pocatello. One of the other questions is about water. There is a section of this development, I've noticed in our staff report and the Public Works memo, that it will be the same as the adjacent subdivision with some of the requirements that was needed in it. Now, that's just a little bit of the area until the pressures come back down. Reason for that is because that 2 million gallon tank that was talked about and everything, you know, it'll still supply everything. There's just going to need to be some special requirements take place in that upper zone until you get down to the pressures that are adequate to serve 100% with the gravity and so forth. So that's just some added measures on that ever just for precautions and to taking care of things. So that's what that requirement's there. So I just wanted to point out those two. City staff is in support of the other phase and the 4 phases there. As Bill pointed out, Mr. Isley, that they're doing all of the grading at once to try to make sure and optimize, you know, how you spend the dollars. And then that roadway, even though it won't be curb and gutter and gravelled or asphalted all the way, the other half will be a gravelled area that will be accessible for emergency services, which currently there is nothing in that area for that purpose. So that's the highlights that I wanted to bring up and point out. So if you have any questions, moving forward. So.
Questions for city staff?
I think you covered it.
Thank you, Merrill. I'd like to invite anyone providing testimony in support of the application to come forward. I'd like to invite anyone providing testimony uncommitted to the application to now come forward. I'd like to invite anyone providing testimony opposing the application to come forward. Any rebuttal? Okay. With no further testimony or rebuttal, I declare the public hearing closed. How does the commission wish to proceed?
Well, I'd like to take a stab at making a motion, but we'll see if my notes are as good as yours as to what it's supposed to say. So I move that we approve the Ridge at High Terrace Divisions 1. Do I need to change that to 1 through 4? 1 through 4 application submitted by Sunrise Engineering on behalf of Bill Isley, finding the application does meet the standards for approval under section 16.20.050 of Pocatello Municipal Code with the conditions listed in the staff and the additional condition that this must be subject to the annexation and zoning decision by the Pocatello City Council associated with this property, and to authorize the chair to sign the findings of fact. Will that do it? Okay.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion made by Hewlett and a second by Guyer. Aislinn, will you call the vote, please?
Hewlett,
Yes.
Guyer,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Falcone.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. With that, we'll close our meeting. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.